Hey everyone, welcome back to No Streetlights C.O.R.E. This is episode 3, and today we're diving into a topic that a lot of us know too well, and that's going to be depression.
Depresso.
But yeah, so we just want to have an honest conversation, real chat and talk about depression and how it's going on in the modern world. It's just going to be real talk with maybe a dad joke or some really bad dad jokes.
What's up, guys? I'm Aaron. You know me. And you know that my depression is also a big one.
Depression? Isn't that just a fancy word for feeling bummed out?
Dwight, you ignorant slut!
And we've all heard the word, but it hits different whenever you realize how many people around you are dealing with the same thing. In episode 1, we talked about mental health misdiagnosis and how sometimes you can feel broken when you're really not. In episode 2, we talked about how you guys aren't alone. We're all facing tough stuff and we all have our own struggles. Today we're building on both of those, but we're going to zero in on depression, something I've wanted to do since the very inception of the show. We're going to talk about how widespread it is, especially for people in their 20s and 30s like us.
Yeah, if you're somewhere 25 to 40-ish area, odds are you're probably someone who has dealt with depression. It's not just a you or me problem, it's everywhere. And we really want to emphasize from the get-go on this episode that you're not alone in feeling like this. Depression can make you feel isolated, like you're walking down a dark road with no streetlights.
No streetlights!
But in reality, though, so many people are on the same road as you, even if you don't see them out there.
As always, we're keeping it casual and honest. We might be a little humorous when we can.
No doubt.
That's because laughter really is the best medicine on the darkest days. If it's not been evident by now, we're not doctors. We're not actual therapists. We're just two guys, best friends who've been through a bunch of stuff. The headliner is the military and trauma. You know, we're going to throw in some eye-opening facts, like Tim the Stat Man. He does a lot of Googling. Later on, we're going to go with our patented 5 super actionable steps that you can take when you're feeling like we're going to talk about in this episode, when you're feeling low. And these are simple everyday things, no miracle cures. This is Tim's favorite thing is the quick fixes of like, oh, just think positive. Oh, just be happier.
Yeah, stop being depressed.
Yeah, these are going to be real tips that have helped real people like you and me.
Get comfy, grab a coffee or some tea, whatever floats your goat, as they like to say. We're going to get into it. So, depression in the modern world, how common is it really? And quick spoiler here, don't click off, but depression is very common. It's kind of a running joke on social media. We get it. LOL, I don't have the motivation, or I really just don't want to get out of bed today, or haha, the darkness is creeping in again. Internet jokes, you know, they're not super far off, honestly. Like, all joking aside here, people really do feel like this all the time. They are actually struggling.
Get me out! Get me out! Get me out!
For starters, globally, about 5% of all adults are suffering from depression at any given time. 5% of all adults. Think about how many millions of people that is. The World Health Organization estimates that like 280 million people worldwide have depression. 280 million people is nearly the population of the United States of America, which is the 3rd largest country by landmass. I can't remember, but we're pretty big. We're like the whole size of Europe. So pretty much everyone in Europe has depression, or pretty much everyone in America has depression, depending on whether you're doing it by landmass.
Well, the good news is, Aaron, I did some of this extra work for you here, and I broke it down to just simply our backyard, or the United States, as we like to call it.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it!
Since we're bored with the fucking stats, we're not going to tell you that 37% of women had a diagnosis of depression at some point compared to 20% of men, so that we understand that women are grossly affected by our actions, and just move on to cultural shit. Sometimes guys feel like it's not okay to say, I'm depressed, because we're men, and men don't get depressed. But Tim, you and I are both veterans. We come from admitting where you're struggling with something can be seen as a weakness. They could download you or take your clearance if you go get help. I remember the attitude was often like, suck it up, accomplish the mission. You chose your rate, you chose your fate, get it done. So we get it. It's hard to open up about how you're feeling, but depression doesn't care how tough you are. It can hit anyone. It can hit the CEO, the soldier, the sailor, the airman, the stay-at-home parent. Globally, depression is the leading cause of disability. And that's right. It's not heart disease. It's not cancer. It's depression. It's that widespread, and it's that impactful.
Just let that sink in for a little bit here, everybody. There's a ridiculous number of increase of like actual clinically diagnosed depressive disorder in adults in the past 10 years. You know, we've dealt with a lot. 4 in 10 suffer from significant depression or anxiety.
And those are the ones willing to admit it. When we say you're not alone, we mean it. Social media is just everyone's highlight reel. That's not true. That's not what they're feeling every day. You're seeing an hour out of the day. If I'm happiest in the morning, you're going to see me working in the garden with a smile on socials because I'm trying to grow my base, so I'm trying to portray this perfect reality. Whereas I was working until 2 a.m. last night, and then I got woken up at 9 a.m. to do something right now and had to just go straight into go mode. I struggle with depression myself. I really do. I didn't always know that's what it was. It used to be I would just say, I'm tired, or as Atticus says, hello, I'm fine. You know, that feeling where you don't want to do anything, you just want to get through the day. Getting out of bed is next to impossible. But, you know, I came off autopilot one day, and I saw that I had this very clear mission and the perfect team around me. And, you know, I used to feel alone and directionless and just dark. If I reflect on it, it was a pretty hard time there in my late 20s.
Dude, I've had episodes where like I'd go to work, put a smile on, go through and get my job done and, you know, give him hell attitude. And then I'd just come home and feel absolutely nothing. No sense of accomplishment, no sense of like I did something worth being proud of today. There were years there, right? A good half of my military career I spent drinking heavily. But even before that, you know, before I would turn to the bottle on those days, I would just go home and stare at my phone or my TV or whatever I could for hours, just trying to find something. I remember this one time, dude. I was driving home from work. It was just a normal day, nothing too crazy from what I remember. I just remember driving home. It was like a 30-minute drive, and just half of that, I'm just bawling my eyes out. It wasn't a song. It wasn't a breakup. It wasn't heartbreak. It was just sadness, man. Like just so much crippling sadness. I have no idea why. I mean, I do now. It was depression. I was depressed. At the time, I just asked myself, what the hell is wrong with me, man?
Whenever I'd go through things like that, I used to beat myself up about it. I would say I was being weak. You know, as a man, I'd be like, you know, man up, sack up. These are things we're used to hearing. Don't be sad. You have shit to do. Other people have it worse. Suck it up. It's that inner drill sergeant voice. We try and hide it. A lot of the people listening are doing the same thing. We make jokes like, hello, I'm fine, or living the dream. Inside, a lot of us are falling apart. And I want to tell you from personal experience, hiding it only makes it worse. We say that our problems hide in the dark, and that's why we have to shine a light on them. Eventually, you're going to get tired. Your neck's going to start hurting if you're wearing a mask 24/7.
Think of this part of the podcast, or this episode really, as us saying, like, we're in your corner. We've been down that hole. We know it. It's not
Shawshank
easy.
Mile.
Yeah, God. The Shawshank Mile is making a comeback. We've heard it before, right? Depression is not a sign of weakness. It means you've been strong for too long. We hold it together until we can't. It's okay to admit you're not okay. It's okay not to be okay. And if anything, that's honestly going to be your first step to getting better.
And that's a perfect segue because we don't just want to share statistics and sad stories. We already cut most of that shit out. We're not just going to leave you hanging. We're actually going to bring you these actionable tips we promised you in the beginning. These aren't cure-alls. It's not for sure going to fix you. But depression isn't something you can just flip on and off like a switch. So these are 5 practical steps that can make those really bad days a little better. They're tools in Tim's tool shed for your mental health toolbox. We're going to figure out something to do with that. you can use them whenever you need a boost or to break out of that negative spiral Tim was talking about. Even just a little.
Yeah, let's get to the solutions though. I guess we could probably maybe call these coping strategies.
Yeah.
We got 5 down to earth things you can try. So no bullshit, no just cheer up, you're not depressed.
Smile more.
These things have genuinely helped us and people we know, and we think they're easy enough to do, even if you're depressed and everything feels difficult. So these are just kind of like gentle nudges. They're not commands. Try 1, 2, see if they help just a little bit.
Yep. And this is maybe the last time I throw in this disclaimer. We're not giving medical advice here. If you're in a really dark place, please consider talking to a professional. We always sign off our podcast with please call 911 if you need immediate intervention, or text or call 988 if you need help now. And we mean it. If you need to talk to a professional, that's the correct thing to do. These are tips to incorporate into your day-to-day. It's like first aid for your mood. All right, Tim. 5 steps.
Awesome. So this is my personal favorite step, and that's step 1. Get your body moving. Even just a little. You don't have to go and do a full workout. You don't have to do a 5K run, whatever. Think tiny. Maybe just go for a little walk to the mailbox. Legitimate research shows that any physical activity can help boost your mood. It releases those feel-good brain chemicals, endorphins, and all that other stuff, and they act like natural antidepressants in your body. In fact, some studies suggest exercise can be as effective as medication for mild depression.
You've been meaning to put that No Streetlights podcast sticker on your mailbox anyway. Might as well do it now. And me, I've got this personal rule. If I'm in a funk, I'd tell myself, I'm just going to take the dogs to the woods. And often, I end up doing more than just going to the woods. Holding that space for yourself, like Melissa Height taught us, breath, movement, sound, is how you create space for yourself. But it's just an easy start. And usually by the end of that short walk I do, I feel so much better. And if I still have capacity, I'll jog back to the house the last 100 yards or do some push-ups in the living room or squats. It's just, the goal is to get the blood flowing. It's like Tim said, your body chemistry can work for you. You just have to take charge. You can choose to release those endorphins. Release that serotonin by moving around. Even gentle motion helps. Stretching, yoga, dancing in your kitchen like my mom does. It doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you're moving. And all of these, there's going to be an option here for somebody.
People say that sunlight makes you happy, and it's because chemically it does, right? It's not just in your head. Well, I mean, it technically
real drugs
is in your head, right?
The sun is a drug.
But it helps you build the vitamin D and get that serotonin out and everything. Get outside just for a few minutes. Even if you just go sit on your porch or balcony, get out there, get some fresh air and clear them cobwebs, man.
Then we move on to step 2. Stay connected. Reach out to someone. Depression loves to make us isolate. It whispers that no one cares about us or no one understands. And you end up retreating into your own little dark bubble. One of the most effective things to do is to connect with another human being. You can text or call a friend if there's no one near you. You can text or call a family member. Like I said earlier, it's as simple as saying, hey, I'm not doing great, or hey, I just felt like saying hi. You don't have to dive into a heavy conversation like Tim and I always do if you're not ready for that. You can just reach out to an old friend who you know will be thinking fondly of you and say, hey man, I just felt like saying hi. Sometimes you need to hear a friendly voice. Social support's huge.
Yeah, humans, man, we're super sociable creatures, even the introverts, we need a little bit of connection. If you feel like you don't want to bother anybody,
that's called being a Debbie Downer, Stan. And nobody likes a Debbie Downer, okay?
Trust me, your real friends want to know if you're struggling. Think of it this way. If the roles were reversed and a buddy was going through a hard time, wouldn't you want to be there for them? The key is to just not let the depression get to you. Don't let that voice in your head tell you nobody cares or nobody wants to talk to you.
Step 3, do a small, manageable task. You need one small win a day. When you're depressed, even basic tasks can feel overwhelming. So the idea here is to pick one tiny little thing that you know you can do every day. It's going to let in some of that light. It's going to let you let go of a little guilt or a little shame. It can be something like, I'm going to sweep every day if you have a small, tiny home like me and my wife. It can be, I'm going to do the dishes if there aren't very many dishes. It can simply be, I'm going to love myself a little more today than I did yesterday. A lot of the Jocko high motivation guys talk about waking up at 4 a.m., making your bed. And Tim has already said that making his bed is not the win he's looking for.
No, I'm selective about my wins, apparently.
If that's where you're at in your life, where that's the best solution for you, hell yeah, brother. Come tell me all about it. They need a win like brushing their teeth, brushing their hair, or taking a shower. If that's step one, take that step.
Don't measure yourself by normal standards when you're in a depressive episode. The fact that you got it out of bed or answered a phone call, those are wins. Take those things.
So one thing that's helped me, like I've talked about before, is writing things down. Even if it's just one or two things you did, literally just like, I loaded the dishwasher, or I saw the sun. It can be anything. Whatever your win is. If it was a win, it wasn't useless. You're not useless. Your depression is making you feel that way.
Step 4. Take care of your basic needs.
Or else.
I.e. self-care. Take care of your basic needs, motherfucker. Depression is going to make you neglect your basics. Eating, hydration, sleep. We've covered all of this. Step 4 is essentially parent yourself.
Yeah, gently.
Make sure you eat something nourishing. Don't wallow in
Diet Mountain Dew.
Like, actually get something that provides nutrients to your body.
Or water.
Brush your teeth, splash a little bit of water on your face, They sound super basic, and if you're not struggling with depression, none of this is going to make sense to you anyway.
Do you know why depressed people like taking long hot showers?
Is it so they feel held and loved?
Because they really need a fucking hug.
Give the homies a kiss on the forehead goodnight.
Yeah, I'll admit, I don't shower every day. I'm trying to, but sometimes it's every second or third day.
We can smell Aaron.
Yeah, but step 5 is write it out or talk it out. You got to express yourself. We're creative beings. Depression often comes with this storm of thoughts and feelings swirling around your head, but in order to control your storm, you have to become the storm. We talked about it with Mama B. I've talked about it with Tim personally offline. It can be really helpful to externalize what you're feeling in a healthy way. Now, this is going to require your friends and your family and yourself to be able to set, hold, respect, accept boundaries. But that's why we have friends like Melissa Height.
The point of this is to express the depression instead of letting it fester. Or you can be like Riley Wood and take and write an entire story about the cycle of grief you were going through. I mean, that's an amazing way to express the depression and grief you were feeling. But
that episode's blowing up right now.
Yeah, look, writing something creative is huge, right? It's painting or composing a goofy poem. Even if it's not good, who cares? You don't have to make the world read it. So those are our 5 steps.
Get moving. Reach out. Small tasks, small wins. A win's a win. Basic self-care. Express it. Remember, these aren't cure-alls. Depression is a stubborn thing, but you're worth the work. It usually takes a combination of time. You might need therapy. You might need medication. You might need to just make lifestyle changes. But this life is really about overcoming. These steps can help you cope right now, and they're immediate tools for when you're in the thick of it. I'm fucking sick of it. I've used every single one of these myself, and they help, even just a little. And some days, 1% better is all the win you need.
I would be an awful person sitting here telling people how to try and help them and everything if I didn't remind you that if none of these things are working for you, just consider reaching out to a professional. We know it's not always easy or accessible for everybody, but it is an option for you. The big thing to understand is that depression will lie to you and say no one can help. But that's the depression talking. That's not reality. There is help. There is hope. Even if you can't feel it right now.
Depression's common. You're not weird, you're not broken for feeling this way, and you're sure as shit not alone. So many people are walking through that same dark tunnel. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're just getting in, if you're in the middle of the pipe, or if you're about to the pond. We're all in this together, and even if you know this truth quietly, we're walking with you.
Going forward, try keeping these 5 coping steps in mind. Maybe write them down, put them on your fridge, something. Just make it easy. When a depressive episode hits, look at the list and pick one. Little by little, those actions can pierce through the fog. Yeah, that's going to be it for today's episode of No Streetlights C.O.R.E. We hope this conversation helps you feel a bit more understood and a bit less alone. If you found this useful, feel free to share it with somebody who might need to hear it. Sometimes sending an episode like this to a friend can be a way of saying, hey, I'm here for you.
We appreciate you spending your valuable time with us, and we don't take it for granted, especially on a topic like this. It's very personal, and sometimes it's heavy, but we've got your back. If you have any thoughts or want to share your story, you know that we would love to hear from you. We say it every podcast that we do. Drop us a message on our socials or our email. We could even talk about your experience if it's super cool, with your permission.
Until next time, remember, even when there are no streetlights, you're not walking that road alone. We're right here with you, and so are countless others. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. You got this.
Take care of yourself, guys. Stay safe. And seriously, be kind to yourselves and each other. We'll catch you in the next one.
Peace!
No street lights, but we're finding our way. In the dark, but we've got something to say. Less is life.